Dear students, I welcome you for the today's lecture related to the composite cylinders and sphere. So basic our equation of three-dimensional general equation for cylindrical coordinate system, that is 1 upon r delta upon delta r, k r delta t upon delta r plus 1 upon r square delta t upon delta phi into k of delta t upon delta phi plus delta upon delta z of k delta t upon delta z plus the generation term, which is equal to root delta t upon delta t. Here the first three terms, they are related to the diffusion, then the generation term, and then the steady state term. So the constant conductivity term, it reduces in one direction, it reduces to this term incorporating the k throughout as the uniform k. Then if it is a steady state condition, then this dt upon dt that goes to the zero, the remaining two terms. Then transition, no heat generation, there is this heat generation term that goes to the zero, and the steady state term that is there. And if it is a steady state and no heat generation term, then the heat generation term and steady state term both go zero. So it is only in one direction. After that, we have derived the general heat conduction equation, that is from this d upon dr r dt upon dr, which is equal to 0, on integrating twice and substituting the values of C1 and C2 constants, we have reached to the general heat conduction equation, that is 2 pi kl into T1 minus T2 upon ln of R2 upon R1, where A is the surface area of the cylinder, that is 2 pi r into the L. That is one way, and second way is from the Fourier law. After integrating it, you also obtain the general equation that is related to the heat conduction for the cylinder. One has to remember this equation for heat conduction for the cylinder. Here the resistance term that is of importance, resistance for the cylinder, that is ln of R2 upon R1 upon 2 pi kl. That is what? The ln of ratio of the outer to the inner cylinder upon 2 pi into the length of the cylinder into the thermal conductivity of the cylinder. So this is now coming to the composite cylinder. This is for the single cylinder. Now we will consider the composite cylinder. For the composite cylinder, there is instead of the single cylinder, we are now taking into account the convection perspective. The convection on the inner side, convection on the outer side we are considering. When we consider the convection resistances, then we have to consider the Newton's law of cooling, that is the heat transfer because of the convection. And this heat transfer because of the convection, that is calculated as HAS into bracket Ts minus T infinity. So this is what, where AS is the surface area for the cylinder, and which is 2 pi r into the L. R1 or R2, that depends on which surface area that is to be considered. When we are taking into account this inner cylinder, then we have to consider the R1 as the surface, uh, R1 as the radius for calculating the surface area. And when we are calculating the resistance because of this outer convection, then we are going to take R2 as the radius for calculation of the surface area. There is a small film which is going to give you the convective resistance. So there will be the three resistance in a single cylinder. That is, one is the inner resistance because of the convection. Second, the metal resistance, that is because of conduction. That is the actual resistance offered by the cylinder. We are considering this as the geometry of a cylinder. So we have to take into account the our formula for the conduction in with the cylinder. Heat conduction for the cylinder, that is 2 pi km into T1 minus T2 upon ln of R2 upon R1. So the convective resistance, the conductive resistance, and again the outer convective resistance. So the total resistance will be the R convection 1, that is inside, then R resistance for the cylinder, and third, that is the R convection for the outer surface of the cylinder. So the resistance for the conduction is ln of R2 upon R1, 2 pi kN. So this is resistance because of the cylinder, ln of R2 upon R1, 2 pi Lk. And the resistance because of the convection, that is Q, which is equal to HA into the delta T. Now the delta T here, T infinity 1 to T1, that is the delta T for this case. And the surface area AS, that will be the inner surface area, that is what? The 2 pi R1 into the L into the H1, where H1 is the inside heat transfer coefficient. This is the R convective. Then similarly the R convective 2, that is on the outer surface of the cylinder. So this is the 2 pi R2. We have to take into account the R2, that is the outer surface area, has to be taken into account. So 2 pi R2, that will be the surface area into the length, into the H2, that is the convective heat transfer coefficient. So my total resistance, that will be the summation of all the resistances. And here we are taking into account the total heat transfer coefficient, incorporating from temperature T infinity 1 to T1, then from T1 to T2, and from T2 to T infinity 2. So this is the total thermal resistance network for a cylindrical shell subjected to a convection from both the inner and outer sides. So convective resistances from the inner as well as from the outer surfaces, that is to be taken into account. It is not necessary always that you can take both the resistances. Sometimes one resistance that can be neglected. Now we will go for the two cylinders. That is a composite cylindrical structure consisting of two coaxial cylinders. So the radius 1 R1 and radius 2 R2 and the radius 3 R3. That is the R1 and R2 is the inner cylinder, R2 and R3 that is the outer cylinder. HA that is the inside heat transfer coefficient, HB that is the outside heat transfer coefficient, TA that is the inside temperature, T1 that is the temperature on the inner surface of the radius of the inner cylinder of the radius R1, T2 that is the interface temperature between the two cylinders, and T3 that is the temperature on the outer radius of the cylinder 2, and Tb that is the infinite temperature. So here Ta and Tb are considered. However, in the previous slide we have taken as the T infinity 1 and T infinity 2. So in this case the total resistances are the 5, that is Ra, the inner surface resistance, then R1 that is the resistance between T1 and T2, then T2 and T3 that is the resistance R2, and you can go on adding T3 and T4 and subsequently. So writing the equations corresponding to this, on the outside surface heat is being transferred to a cold fluid at a temperature Tb with a heat transfer coefficient Hb. If L is the length of the cylindrical system, the total heat transfer rate Q from the hot to the cold fluid over the length L is the same throughout each cylinder. So Q that is the heat transfer rate because of the convection H A delta T. Then for the first cylinder, for the second cylinder, where the thermal conductivity of the first cylinder is K1, thermal conductivity of the second cylinder is K2, and it's a ratio of R2 upon R1, and for the second cylinder ln of R3 upon R2. Same are the temperature factors, that is T1 minus T2 for the first case and T2 minus T3 for the second cylinder. And for the convective heat transfer coefficient, that is Hb into 2 pi R3 into the L. So for single cylinder, you will have the three resistances, one because of the convection, second because of the first cylinder, then the second cylinder, and the fourth one is because of the outside convection coefficient. Now, taking into account Ta minus Tb, that is the total temperature gradient we have to take into account, that is the total temperature gradient Ta and Tb. So Ta minus T1 is the first resistance, T1 minus T2 second resistance, T2 minus T3 third resistance, and T3 minus Tb that is the fourth resistance. That is what we have written now. Ta minus Tb, Ta minus T1, T1 minus T2, T2 minus T3, and T3 minus Tb. So writing the combined equations, the concerned equation, all the four equations we will write here. That is, first is because of the convection for the first cylinder, for the second cylinder, and for the convection on the outer surface. So that is the Q into Ra plus R1 plus R2 plus Rb. So total Q, that becomes equal to the temperature difference, total temperature difference upon the summation of the resistances, where the Ra 1 upon 2 pi R L into HA, that is nothing but 1 upon HA. Temperature gradients are incorporated in this equation category. So that is all the resistances they have taken into account, and here the 2 pi that is the 2 pi L into PA minus PB, that we have taken as the common. 2 pi into the L is there in every resistance, so that is taken as common. So 1 upon HAR1 plus 1 upon HBR3 plus ln of R2 upon R1 upon K1 plus ln of R3 upon R2 upon K2. So if there are n concentric cylinders, so this number of thermal conductive resistance, that is will be the summation. If it's a one cylinder, then this term will be 0. This term will be 0. Only 3 resistances are there. And if there are 3 cylinders, then one more resistance that will be there. So the 5th term will also exist. So the overall heat transfer coefficient U, that will be U into A, that will be 1 upon summation of all the resistances, where A1 is related to the 2 pi R1L, and AO or outer surface area, that will be equal to 2 pi R3 into L. So based on this, we will solve one problem related to this. A steel pipeline of thermal conductivity 50 watt per meter Kelvin of ID 100 millimeter and OD 110 millimeter is to be covered with 2 layers of insulation. 2 layers of insulation. So the first pipe is of a thermal conductivity K1 and 2 layers of insulation that will be there. The thermal conductivity of the first insulation material is 0.06 watt per meter Kelvin, and that of the second is 0.12 watt per meter Kelvin. Calculate the heat loss per meter length of pipe and the interface temperature between the 2 layers of insulation. When the temperature of the inside tube surface is 250 degrees Celsius and that of the outside is 50 degrees Celsius. So you are knowing the inner temperature, you are knowing the outer temperature, you are knowing the radius, and you are knowing the thermal conductivity. You have to calculate this temperature T2, that is nothing but your interface temperature. Calculate the heat loss per meter length of the pipe, heat loss per meter length of the pipe through the complete metal and the 2 layers of insulation, and the interface temperature between the 2 layers of insulation. So this is the T3 is nothing but the interface temperature of the insulation. So R1, R2, R3 and R4, that is mentioned here. Then the thermal conductivity is K1, K2 and K3 are mentioned, and the temperatures of the inner and the outer surfaces that is mentioned, and asked to calculate the temperature T3, the interface temperature. So the heat transfer per unit length that is to be calculated. The same formula which we have obtained here, that we are going to use. That is Q, which is equal to 2 pi L into the overall temperature difference upon the total resistances. So Q upon L, which is equal to 2 pi into overall temperature difference, that is T1 to T4, and ln of R2 upon R1. This is because of the first pipe conductive resistance. Here we have not considered the resistances because of the convection. Only the conductive resistance that has been taken into the account. H is not mentioned, and the given problem doesn't talk about the convective resistances. So the only conductive resistances that has been taken into account, as there are three layers, one is the cylinder or one is the pipe and the two layers of insulation. So we have taken these two layers. So it's a ratio of first outer to the inner upon the thermal conductivity of the inner, ln of outer to the inner radius upon the thermal conductivity of the second insulation, first insulation, ln of R4 upon R3 upon the thermal conductivity of the second insulation. So that comes as the 89.6 watt per meter Kelvin. Now next is the intermittent temperature, that is the interface temperature T3, that is to be calculated. We have already taken into account the concerned formula in the last class. The temperature T3, or independently you can take the temperature differences T3 and T4 and calculate the heat, because we have already calculated the heat transfer per unit length. That will be the same for any layer. That means heat transfer from first to second, that will be the same as the heat transfer from second to the third, and that will be the same as heat transfer from the third to the fourth. So we have taken only consideration related to the temperature T3 and T4. However, the corresponding radius will be the R4 and R3 with the thermal conductivity K3. So temperature T3, that comes as the 96.3 degrees Celsius. That is related to the cylinder. Similarly, we will also consider for the sphere now. That is related to the sphere we will talk. So sphere, the general heat conduction equation in the three-dimensional. From there, basically it starts. That is, again, we are having the diffusion term, the generation term, and the unsteady state term. When we consider only in the r direction, the two terms in the theta and phi direction, that phi and theta direction, that will go to 0. So only r direction term will be there. So steady state, dP upon dt, that will go to 0. For no heat generation, the generation term will go to 0, and for steady state no heat generation term, both the terms of the generation and steady state, that will go to 0. So only in the R direction that will be there. And after this can be simplified like this, and then you have to integrate it twice to obtain the general temperature gradient, that is, after integration dP upon dr C1 upon R square, then calculating the value of C1 and C2 and substituting, so that you will get the variation of temperature within the spherical shape. And from the Fourier law, you will be able to calculate the rate of heat transfer in the sphere. However, this A, that will correspond to the 4 pi r square because of the sphere area. So area of the sphere, that will be 4 pi r square. So your equation that comes as 4 pi k into R1 into R2 into the temperature difference upon R2 minus R1. So the resistance that will be there, the same equation, out of this the resistance that is to be taken out, that is the temperature difference upon the resistance. So value of this resistance will be the R2 minus R1 upon 4 pi R1 R2 into the K. Now this is for the single cylinder. Now for a composite cylinder, we have to take into account the different resistance. This is the figure corresponding to one layer, second layer, and the third layer of the sphere. So you can have to consider the different convective resistance on the inner surface, convective resistance on the outer surface. So there will be the 5 resistances. One is for the inner resistance, second is for the second layer, third layer, and fourth layer cylinder or the sphere, that will be there, and finally it will be the convective heat transfer coefficient. So now coming to the concentric sphere, that is the first is the convective resistance Q, which is equal to HA into the delta T, that is HA into 4 pi R1 square, that is the inner radius, and the inner temperature TA to the T1. The second is the conductive resistance because of the first sphere. So 4 pi K 1 into the R1 R2 into the temperature difference for the first cylinder inner surface and for the outer surface upon the difference in the radius. Then the heat flow into the second cylinder, that is 4 pi K2 into R2 and R3 into the temperature difference for the second cylinder, that is the inner is T2 temperature, outer is the T3 temperature, and the differences in the radius, that is outer radius minus inner radius. And after that, the fourth resistance that comes as the convective resistance outside the second sphere. So that is HB, which is into 4 pi R3 cube, R3 square into T3 minus TB. So when you add up all these resistances and simplify it for Q or for TA minus TB, then it will be Q upon 4 pi into the individual resistances. That is, this is the first convective resistance, second conductive resistance of the first cylinder, conductive resistance for the second cylinder, where K2 is the thermal conductivity of the second cylinder, and then the convective resistance for the outer surface. So this is the heat transfer through the two layers of sphere, considering the two convective resistances. So again, TA minus TB upon summation of all the resistances, where R1, RA, RB, then R1 and R2, that will be there. And if it is for the n number of cylinders, we can write the generalized formula, that is summation of Rn plus 1 minus Rn upon Kn into Rn plus 1. This is the generalized terminology related to the sphere. Then the U0 is the overall heat transfer coefficient multiplied by area. That is nothing but 1 upon summation of all the resistances. Now based on this, we will talk related to the one problem, that is the area. A hollow sphere is made up of two materials. First, with the thermal conductivity of 70 watt per meter Kelvin, is having an OD of 10 centimeter, and the ID of 10 centimeter and OD of 30 centimeter, and is taken with thermal conductivity K is equal to 15 watt per meter Kelvin, forms the outer layer with the OD of 40 centimeter. The inside and outside temperatures are 300 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. Estimate the rate of heat flow through this sphere, assuming the perfect contact with the material. So this will be the figure, corresponding figure, one layer and the second layer, that will be there. The radius that is mentioned as the 5 centimeter, then the 30 centimeter OD of the first cylinder, that is 15, and the OD of the outer cylinder, that is 40 centimeter diameter, that means 20 centimeter radius. 5, 15 and 20, and the temperature, inner temperature is 300 degrees Celsius and the outer temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. So writing the generalized equation incorporating the two resistances in this case, because we have not taken into account all the numerical problem associated with this, doesn't talk related to the convective heat transfer coefficient. So we are neglecting the convective heat transfer coefficient in this case and simplifying it to only conductive resistances. So these two terms that will get cancelled, the convective coefficient. Only the formula Q, which is equal to 4 pi into TA minus TB upon R2 minus R1 upon K R1 R2 plus R3 minus R2 upon K R2 and R3. So this is the 4 pi into T1 minus T3 upon R2 minus R1 upon K1 R1 R2 plus R3 minus R2 upon K2 R2 R3. So after simplification, the answer that comes out as 11.25 kilowatts.